The fifth Natural Track Luge World Cup event of the season is all about a high-speed track, highly motivated contenders, and loads of action on fast-moving luges. The next round of the World Cup takes place at a plateau high above Bolzano, South Tyrol, Italy. The notorious 900-meter-long Füsel-Ried track is hidden deep in the forests of Deutschnofen. Alex Gruber, who has won this competition 4 times so far, knows exactly what makes this track so challenging.
Hallo, ich bin Alex Gruber. It's Nach Moskau.
Hello, my name's Alex Gruber. After the competitions in Moscow and Austria, we're finally in South Tyrol, a place we really love. I will show you one of the most spectacular tracks here. The track begins with 2 corners. You have to take them at top speed and should avoid any mistakes here. If you are too slow, you may touch a wall, and at the second corner, you have to initiate the turn very early and then try to take the speed with you. Then it's down to the Füsel S combination, which is one of the most thrilling corners as you are at top speed and you have to risk a lot. You should avoid braking here and you should take the first of the corners with high speed. It's a big challenge for us to cope with these corners. The Tool corner is a very important corner if you want to be among the fastest. You have to take it very precisely. It won't forgive any mistake you make because there is quite a quick change from left to right. You brake 2 times and at the second brake you have to change quickly and try to take the corner early. If you miss this, you may end up in the snow on the outside, which is a bad thing. In general, it's one of the fastest tracks on the World Cup. You reach speeds up to 70 kilometers per hour. I really enjoy risking a lot and putting the pedal to the metal here. In the doubles World Cup, rookies Patrick and Matthias Lambacher are surprisingly 3rd in the overall ranking. In second place, it's Igorov Popov, just behind the experienced favorites Pigneter Clara. The Lambacher brothers have been very successful in natural track luging from the very start. They're also the reigning world sledge champions, which is a discipline with a lighter luge. My name is Matthias Lambacher. I'm Patrick Lambacher. We've been riding the sledge together since we were kids. Last year we switched to natural track luging. The speed is higher, that's for sure. The speed is one reason. The other reason is that we're looking for a new challenge, and we've found it now. We love luging. It's just great. When we trained luging at the end of the previous season, Florian helped us a little bit. He gave us some insider tips, and for sure, this helped us a lot. As we're brothers, we understand each other perfectly on the luge. Everyone knows exactly what to do. We understand each other without saying anything. We didn't have any expectations for this season. That's why we're a bit surprised to be 3rd. We didn't expect this at all. For sure, expectations are rising now that everything has worked so well. But we'll see. We hope that we can keep the gap small and that we'll deliver good races. We'll come up with something for the future, for sure. It'll be exciting to see what the young Italian brothers will deliver in this competition at Deutschnofen. Let's have a look at the 6 best teams in their final and decisive runs. Pigneter Clara set a new track record in the first run and are followed by Porshnev, Lazarev, who were nearly 0.7 of a second slower. Igorov Popov are in 3rd with a huge gap of 1.5 seconds. Let's begin with the 6th place after the first round, Alexei Martyanov and Ivan Rodin. The Russians placed 4th in one of the previous World Cup races and will give everything to reach the podium this time. They take the first corner smoothly and don't have any problems in the Füsel S combination. The Russians provide a strong team in the doubles with 3 duos among the top 6. But in the lower part, the timing of Martianov-Rodin is not perfect, and they are nearly touching the snow at the side. At the finish, they nearly have the same time as in the first run, and this means they will be 6th at very least. The Lambacher brothers are in 5th place after the first run, and they want to do better now. Their lead over Martianov and Rodin is nearly 30 hundredths of a second. They take the upper corners in a clean and controlled way. It's looking like a confident run so far. They've kept their lead well. With expertise, Patrick and Matthias Lambacher ride the Fussel S and extend their advantage. And they are also very fast through the Toul corner. With high speed, Lambacher and Lambacher take the straight line to the finish. This was a fast run, but will it be enough to get a better place than 5th? The winners of the first World Cup race of the winter have missed the previous 2 races for professional reasons. Now Rupert Brüggler and Tobias Angerer are even more motivated to close the gap on the leaders. They are only in 6th in the overall ranking, but already in the first corner they touch the wall. Will they lose time due to this mistake? Yes, their lead of 16 hundredths over the Lambacher brothers is gone. But Brüggler and Angerer are world-class losers. This mishap does not mean the end to their dreams. After the Fussel S, they are still behind the Lambacher brothers though, and now they have to show a strong performance in the lower part if they want to reach a podium, and they are first to the finish line. They improved by half a second in the lower part, a great run despite the mistake. Igorov Popov are aiming high this season. They want to become world champions, and they are 2nd in the overall World Cup ranking at the moment. They're 3rd after the first run here at Deutschnofen, but their lead to Brüggler Angerer is only 3 hundredths of a second. The Russians are fast in the upper part and keep their lead. They're very self-confident after 2 second places at the recent World Cup in Russia. They're in harmony. Alexander Igorov and Peter Popov, they work well together. And now the Russians are in the last key section, and they seem to be less dynamic than their rivals. At the finish, they're 3 hundredths back. They've lost their 3rd place to Brüggler Angerer. Next up, the experienced team of Porshnev Lazarev. They were not very successful at their home event in Moscow, but in Deutschnofen they showed what they are capable of. They are 2nd with a convenient lead of 1 second over the current leaders in the 2nd run, Brüggler Angerer. And they seem to have everything under control. They have extended their lead at the first split time. At the Fussel S, they demonstrate their skill and experience. A great run by Pavel Porshnev and Ivan Lazarev. With precision, they master the final few meters of the track. The Russians keep their speed and finish 1.5 seconds faster than the Austrians. This means silver in the worst case. Now the final duo, the experienced pair of Patrick Pigneter and Florian Clara. They delivered a fantastic performance in the first run, being 7/10ths faster than their rivals. They've already won 2 races this season in Moscow and Winterleiten, and in this 2nd run they show they are the masters of their home track, extending their lead continuously. The 2 athletes from South Tyrol know this track by heart. Their elegant style is perfect for these long corners. And now they tackle the difficult Toul corner, a section where they lost speed the previous year. This was a textbook run, and they are 1 second faster than the competition. We've always had good performances here, and we feel at home, so everything worked well for us. Of course, we're very happy, for sure, especially because of the World Championship next week. The tracks are similar, and that's why we think it should also work well at Latzfons, if we deliver a similar performance. That's why we're looking forward to the World Championship. Their previous victory in Deutschnofen was in 2016. Pigneter Clara win in front of Porshnev Lazarev and Brüggler Angerer. This means no changes in the top 3 of the overall World Cup ranking. However, Pigneter Clara have extended their lead. After the doubles, the ladies are on track. Ekaterina Lavrenteva is third in the overall World Cup ranking. Greta Pinggera in second, and leading after winning every race of the season so far is Evelin Lanthaler. But before we show you the highlights of the race, it's question time for Michelle Diepold, an athlete who has been among the top female losers for years.
Hi, ich bin die Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. I'm from Alflins, a spa town in Styria, Austria. I've taken part in the World Cup since the 2014-15 season. The best memory of my first World Cup podium last year? I remember well that all my friends and family were there. It was super cool to be on the podium of a World Cup race for the first time. And I remember that it was such a nice feeling that all my family members watched the awards ceremony. I hope that I'll have this feeling soon again.
The
best reaction of being a loser?
Yeah, there
have been some good reactions. If I tell somebody I'm a loser, which means Rodler in German, they ask me if I'm a yodeler, which is a yodeler. No, I'm a loser, natural track loser. What would you be if you weren't a loser? Lazy at home on the sofa. Your favorite food on race day? I have a perfect start into race day if I eat a slice of bread with hazelnut spread in the morning. I eat pretty much anything on race day, but not too much because otherwise it's difficult to get to the start. You're quickly exhausted if you've eaten too much. Your most embarrassing moment? 3 years ago at a World Cup race, I paddled out of the start, and after 3 paddles I touched the wall directly after the start. Any hidden talents? Riding the unicycle and playing saxophone. Okay, now back to the track where the ladies are completing their final preparations. Evelin Lanthaler set a sensational new track record in her first run. She would have been 4th in the men's ranking with her time. Ekaterina Lavrenteva is in 2nd place, a second back, while Lanthaler's teammate Greta Pinggera is 3rd. Michelle Diepold sits in 5th. And this is quite unusual. Tina Unterberger is only in 6th place after her first run with a gap of 2.2 seconds to the leader. The experienced athlete from Austria has to perform at her highest level now in order to climb up the ranking. She's been on the podium 3 times so far this season, which puts her in 4th place in the overall ranking. She has to attack now, though. She keeps her lead over the rider who started before her, and she even manages to extend that gap as she is riding the corners much cleaner and more efficiently, plus she's faster than in her first run. She also takes the final section perfectly, doesn't lose any time with braking, and she is more than a half a second faster than in her first run. Michelle Diepold, who we heard from earlier, is the next athlete to start. She is currently sitting in 5th place after being 2 seconds slower than the leader in the first run. Will she be able to improve? She takes the first corners without any problems, shining with a clean line. But at the first split time, she has lost her tiny margin of 400ths over her teammate Unterberger. She has to put the pedal to the metal now. The 22-year-old takes the Fussel S in an elegant way, but she is not as fast as Unterberger was. Obviously, not able to keep up her 5th place. Diepold falls back behind Unterberger. This means 6th place for her in the worst case. The youngest loser from the Italian team currently sits in 4th place. Daniela Mittermeier has already won the overall World Cup in the juniors. Now she is showing top performances in the elite class too. She only has a small lead over Unterberger, only 0.18 of a second, and she's losing time in the upper sections. She has no problems with the second key sections though, taking it with drive and speed, but she can't reach Unterberger's time and loses ground. At the finish line, she is more than a half a second back. Greta Pinggera, who won the race in the previous year, is sitting in 3rd place. The South Tyrolean had some problems with her luge in the first run and lost 1 second to the leader. But Pinggera likes this track. She's feeling comfortable and takes the long corners confidently. This track suits her riding style perfectly. She had a lead of 1 second over Unterberger, and she is able to even extend it, but Pinggera is eager to improve her ranking, as every point is important for the overall rankings. She is second overall, but with only a tiny lead over her rivals. Pinggera with a flawless run. She is faster than in her first run and takes the lead, but two athletes are still yet to come. Now second after the first round, Ekaterina Lavrenteva. The Russian has won the overall World Cup 12 times. Her second season after maternity leave is going like clockwork. She got second twice at Moscow and is third in the overall ranking. She was 0.3 faster than Greta Pinggera in her first run, but she loses the lead in the upper section. Then a perfect performance at the Fussel S demonstrates all her experience here, and she takes back the lead. The Russian losing queen with a flawless show in the lower section as well, and she reaches exactly the same time as in the first run. Lavrenteva is first. She's over the moon. Getting ready at the start is Evelin Lanthaler, the dominating loser of this season. Thanks to her comfortable lead of 1 second over Lavrenteva, she doesn't have to risk everything in this final run. On the other hand, she shouldn't be too relaxed either, as this track is treacherous. But Lanthaler proves she is in great shape. She races over the ice of Deutschnofen as if she were on rails, extending her lead with every corner. Riding elegantly and smoothly, the 27-year-old makes this high-speed downhill look like a walk in the park. Being nearly 2 seconds faster than her rivals, she's the clear favorite for the upcoming World Championship.
I've
never had such a big lead before. I'm fit as a fiddle from my head down to my toes. The final rehearsal was successful, but Greta always shows strong performances at Lazarev, and the other competitors will be eager to win as well. I'm going there with the aim to come back as the world champion. I will probably not be happy if I get second. Lanthaler, Lavrenteva, Pinggera. That's the ranking at Deutschnofen, with Michelle Diepold sitting in 6th place. Lanthaler still unbeaten this season. She's leading the overall ranking with the maximum number of points possible. Pinggera and Lavrenteva now share 2nd place. For the men, record winner Patrick Pigneter is currently 3rd in the overall ranking. Thomas Kammerlander is in 2nd, and Alex Gruber is in the lead with 15 points ahead of both of the gentlemen. Florian Glatzel is in 4th place. He has never been on the podium in the season before, but this year he had podiumed in Moscow and Kutai. His formula for success: deep relaxation and ease. Riemann. To be honest, I didn't do much strength training this summer and actually just went hiking a lot. In Kutai, I didn't care because last year I was full of hopes after it went really well, but it all backfired because of my inconsistency. This year I just said to myself, never mind, let's just do it, and that's why I was so relaxed in the second run and why it worked without any problems.
Durch das bin ich eigentlich so locker gewesen im zweiten Lauf, dass es problemlos gegangen ist.
I'm doing it myself, but for me it's not really important that it's perfect. I think that I can win a lot of the time by riding well. My strength on the luge is that I don't think too much. I'm not nervous at the start. I'm always laid back. My weakness, on the other hand, is that I'm quite inconsistent. That's probably because I'm overambitious and maybe risk a bit too much.
Es liegt wahrscheinlich daran, weil ich immer mehr will und oft einmal riskiere noch vielleicht zu viel. Probiere natürlich, dass
Yeah, for sure I'll try and get the best position possible. Let's see what happens.
Schauen wir, was rauskommt.
It will be exciting to see what will happen in the final run of the men's singles competition. It's not only about the win at this contest, but also about precious points for the overall ranking. After the first run, Patrick Pigneter is in the perfect position for taking his first victory of the season. But Thomas Kammerlander and Alex Gruber are only a blink of an eye behind him. Florian Glatzel is in 6th place, 0.7 of a second behind the leader. He's very confident after 2 podiums this season, even if Deutschnofen is not one of his favorite tracks. He's 23 hundredths ahead of 7th place, and he doesn't have any problems in the upper sections. He's even extended his lead a bit after his first split time. Glatzel takes the notorious Fussel S with precision and speed, braking 2 times before he reaches the Tulle corner. And Glatzel's lead is growing, and he will stay in the top 6 if he doesn't make any more mistakes. He's 0.3 slower than in the first run, but he has defended his position. The next loser is Glatzel's teammate Mickey Scheichel. The veteran was only 4 hundredths faster than Glatzel in the first run, which means there's no room for mistakes. It's all about precision, and this should be an easy task for the 29-year-old, who masters the upper section well thanks to his experience. Consequently, the 2012 Vice-European champion is very fast and extends his lead over Glatzel, but how will he cope with the fast changes of direction in the lower section? He's driving a bit too far to the outside, but this was a strong performance by the Austrian. In the end, he's 0.4 faster than Glatzel and defends his 5th place. Stefan Federer is the 3rd best of the South Tyrolean team. Sitting in 4th position, he has only a minimal advantage to Scheichel. He needs a courageous run to defend his lead of 10 hundredths. Federer passes the key first section without any problems, finds an efficient line, and keeps his lead. He also masters the Fussel S well, but he seems to be less explosive than Scheichel, and his lead begins to melt away. How will he cope with the final obstacle? Scheichel had slight problems here, while Federer takes the section flawlessly. Nevertheless, he is 6 hundredths slower than the Austrian. And now the top 3 athletes after the first run. The serial winner at Deutschnofen, Alex Gruber, has not yet shown what he's capable of on this track. He's 3rd after the first run with a half-second lead over Scheichel, who is currently in 1st after his 2nd run. But the 26-year-old wants more. A 5th win in a row would set a new record. Gruber risking a lot, but still rides very precisely. His lead is growing with every corner he takes. How will the reigning world champion perform in the lower section? He's very strong at the moment and on his way to his first ever World Cup win. At the finish line, he's nearly 1 second faster than Scheichel and confidently takes the lead. Thomas Kammerlander won the overall World Cup 2 times in a row in the previous years. This season, he's only 15 points behind Alex Gruber in 2nd place. It would be a big thing for him to place in front of the Italian here. Gruber delivered an impressive performance, and Kammerlander's lead is only 11 hundredths of a second. At the first split time, the 28-year-old is still in the lead, though after providing a textbook upper section only. Will he still be in front after the difficult Fussel S? No, he isn't. Kammerlander has dropped behind Alex Gruber, and the South Tyrolean was very fast in the lower part. The European champion is not able to defend his position, but he will be on the podium at worst. Now it's up to Patrick Pigneter. For the first time this season, the Grand Master of Natural Track Lugeing is the final athlete to leave the start gate. Will it be his first victory of the season as well? His previous win at Deutschnofen was back in 2012. On this track, the 31-year-old has not won as many times as elsewhere, but Pigneter seems to be confident and shines well and clean with his elegant style in the top. He's not as efficient as his rivals, though. He has soon lost the lead of 13 hundredths over Gruber. He's not able to find the right answer in the middle part either. Maybe his experience will pay out in the lower section. No, it doesn't. The 11-time overall World Cup winner falls back to 3rd place. Alex Gruber is the winner of the day.
Yeah,
when I was behind after the first run, I felt a brutal pressure as everybody expected me to win here. Everybody expects that I score the fastest times. And you also feel this yourself. I know that I'm able to do it, but you could see it in the first run yesterday that I didn't have a free mind. I was not able to show what I'm capable of. Today, I knew that I could attack. I felt much more relaxed. I didn't think about winning. I only wanted to deliver a great run, and this worked very well. Gruber first in front of Kammerlander and Pigneter. Mickey Scheichel misses the podium again, just like in Moscow. Florian Glatzel in 6th place. Gruber extends his lead in the overall ranking to 30 points, but the race is still open and there are still 2 races to go in Romania and Austria. Fast runners, mellow corners, and a lavish celebration for the home team. That was the World Cup race at Deutschnofen 2019. But the next highlight is just around the corner as the Natural Track Luge World Championship at Les Fonds next week promises compelling duels for medals and for glory.